Hey everyone joining. Hey. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the comments below. I wish I could have did a formal live, but I'm on my phone right now and I actually don't know where my laptop is. But let me know if you guys can hear me. Hey, okay, yes. Okay, hey y'all. Okay, I'm so sorry. It's been a while, but I'm trying to come back on YouTube. I really miss y'all. So, while I've been on maternity leave and etc. Y'all know I keep up with the YouTube streets, and while I don't really do reaction videos, I did want to talk about Peaches McIntyre versus this whole feeding empty little tummy situation. Let me know if y'all aware of what's been going on YouTube and TikTok. She's been talking about it, but I'm gonna give you guys a brief synopsis. So basically, Peach McIntyre, she lives in the Lakewood Ranch, Florida area. She brags about this area all the time. I'll go into that deep dive later. But anyway, she brags about this area a lot. Okay, so with her children, she has 9 children. I think 6 or 7. I don't even know how many kids she got, but I know 6 of them are in school, right? So on Thursday, her children came home. Her 2 of her grade school children and I think 1 of her middle school age children came home with bags of food that had their names on it. At first, Peach didn't think nothing of it because she thought everyone in class got it, and her daughter was like, no, only me, my brother, and then 1 other student got them. So when Peach looked inside the bag, it was ramen noodles, off-brand macaroni and cheese, instant oatmeal, and some other things. Like, I don't even understand how this is supposed to be feeding anybody, because it was not very nutritional if you ask me. Well, anyway, she was like, okay, so only y'all got it. So she immediately goes back up to the school, y'all, and she walks into the building, and there's like, the front desk isn't open. Sorry, y'all, if y'all hear my little one. The office isn't like open, so it's like a screen, like a glass screen, and it's like a little slot that you're typically able to like write a piece of paper and slide it through. Well, she goes in there and she tells them to quit effing playing with her and to take their goddamn on food back. Okay, so then she proceeds to go home and she makes all these videos alluding to them saying that they're feeding empty little tummies, but she didn't sign her children up for this. Where'd this come from? Because they don't get free or reduced lunches. They don't get anything as far as like government assistance. So how did their names get picked for this? Especially because the bags had their names on it. So now here we are. She's been reacting to like feeding empty little tummies videos, and then she tried to have a meeting with the school on Friday, and where she was met with like a sheriff, and the school was like, she can't record. Peaches, it doesn't matter what situation she's in, she's going to record. So she was like, if I can't record, then I'm not going to have the meeting or whatever, because she doesn't want to be ambushed. And at first, when I first saw the videos, I was like, okay, yeah, this is some bull-ish. Like, why would y'all give, the only black students this bag of food, especially if there was no reasoning for how they got picked? Like, they said that it was completely random at first, and I can't remember the other story that she was told. But then as I continued to listen to Peach's videos, I started to remember that Peaches is a COON. And that's just my honest opinion. And I say this because last year during the election time, she was boasting about Trump, how she's voting for Trump. During back to school time, she was bragging about her children going to predominantly white schools and how her kids don't have to worry about being bullied. These were her exact words. My kids don't have to worry about being bullied because at school it's not about all that stuff. They're just going to learn, basically insinuating that white is nice, right? And we hear this kind of rhetoric all the time, and it was so many people in her comments trying to educate her on this very moment. But y'all know, while she kept making these videos, she kept saying something that I that triggered me to make a video. My kids don't fit the regular black standards. My kids aren't like other black kids. That's what she kept saying. And I'm like, what is she talking about? In her opinion, she doesn't feel like black people come from excellence. Only she can. She broke the mold, right? So she can seem to understand why these white people are treating her like this, even though she has those same sentiments and those same thoughts. Am I saying for a fact that they thought that her kids were starved, hungry, and less than? No. But is this something that could actually happen? Yes. And Peaches McIntyre, she's self-hating. That's just my opinion of it. Because if we're talking about race and we're talking about how her kids were singled out, why are you in the same breath in the videos talking about some my kids don't fit the typical black kids mold? My kids don't get free or reduced lunches. And it's like, Peaches, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You can't be upset that that school treated your children like black children when you see black children the same way. She was just on the internet, I think last week or the week before last, around the time right before she got her TikTok banned, saying she don't give a F about other people's kids, and if a kid passes away, oh well. And I'm like, so why are you making these videos about your kids and the feeding hungry, empty little tummies? What are we supposed to do with this information? Because at first I was agreeing with her, like, damn, that was weird. Like, why would they only single out her kids? And then the meals, the food that was in the bags were not nutritious. Like, I was so confused. So I was following along. But then after a while I was like, hold on. Who she wanted to advocate for her? She better call Trump. She better call Trump, because at the end of the day, no one else can help you. You don't even like people. You don't even like the people that watch you. Everything is a black woman ratted me out. A black woman posted my eviction. She truly doesn't like black people, but now that her children are being treated like the same way that she views black people, it's a problem. Hold on, let me see what y'all saying in the comments. She needs validation from whites and is shocked that whites will always see her as a Negro no matter how much she regrets her blackness. Yeah. Oh, rejects her blackness publicly. Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. Because she was at the voting booth like, I'm voting for Trump. And mind you, who cares? Like, vote for who you want to vote for, but the tables always turn. And you better be careful of the people that you put on a pedestal, because look, like, I remember on TikTok people trying to educate her on why it's dangerous for her to keep having the thought process of, my kids go to a predominantly white school, they don't have to worry about being bullied. And people literally were in the comments like, you do realize that teachers are bullies, administrators are bullies, like, this is a thing. And now look, now you're being bullied, or you feel like you're being bullied, and you feel like your children are being singled out because they are a part of this feeding empty little tummies program, which I've never heard of. And again, shame on them, because the food that they're putting in tummies is dangerous. Like, can we get an apple? Can we get an orange? I think the school was helping because she told CPS workers she needed help. See, I remember a video I think right after she had the twins, I think, where she was telling them that she needed like a packing, or she was talking about how she got a pack and play and some formula for them. So yeah, that could be a thing, but I'm not sure. I don't live in Florida, so it could be different. But I know in Missouri, CPS is not going to the school if the case is closed. Is her case still open? Hey Max, I do think the school was being shady though. That was because of the eviction. I think the school was being shady too. But mind you, they're being shady because of what? Because of how they presume black people. She wants them to see her as an upper echelon black woman. But she doesn't even believe that black people are upper echelon, because in her own words, she said that her children are a lot like the typical black children. I'm like, what are the typical black children? Do tell. Let me know. I'm looking for the typical black children, because it makes no sense. Like, she kept saying that. I wish I should have came live on StreamYard so I could play some of her videos, because it's really crazy how she is talking out of both sides of her neck. Like, I don't know which side she's on. Like, do you want us to believe this is about race? Or are you simply just mad because of your own internal feelings about race? Like, she does not have nice things to say about black people. And now that white people are treating her black children, which I'm not condoning, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying, like, what do you do in this instance? Do you go home and do you tell your children to love themselves as black boys and girls? Like, what are you going to tell them? Because she does, I don't feel like Peaches loves herself as a black woman. That's just my opinion. The way she talks about black people, you can't, there's no way that you love black people. There's no way that you love yourself. I wish I was on StreamYard so I could have y'all call in. Does anyone live in the Florida area that's familiar with this Feeding Empty Little Tummies program? Because she is adamant, like, someone must have signed her up for the program, or they was just being funny. When she reacted to one video, it was saying how they get the records of who they are going to give the food to based off of their financial status, like if they get free or reduced lunches. And she was saying that she doesn't get free or reduced lunches because her children are not like the typical black children. So how did they get this information? I'm still stuck on why she's attacking Feeding Empty Little Tummies, because they did not just wake up one day and say, let's pick on Peaches McIntyre's kids. Like, that organization is the one that gave the school the food, and then the school, from my viewpoint, put the sticky notes of the children who they were going to give the food to. That's just my opinion. And then, I mean, we can take it a step farther. Peaches has said a lot of times that she's trying to get back into dressing up, keeping herself together. Again, in my opinion, ways of how she doesn't really have a good a good feeling about herself. Like, she doesn't really view herself as worthy. So, do they see her up at that school looking a plumb mess? I know last year she was going through an eviction and she was still talking about, again, black women are the people that posted her eviction. And it's like, no, you have to realize that your market is not white people. I don't know why you think that you on the internet inspiring white people. All the people that join your groups, all the people that she even shouted out to, who she has helped create a social media presence, those were black people. I'm like, give me a white success story, because white people ain't watching you, girl. But anyway, she was like, a black woman posted my eviction and blah, blah. And someone else went in the comments and was still telling her, like, how do you think your children are going to be able to go to school? And she was like, they're going to be just fine. They go to a predominantly white school. They don't worry about that type of stuff. She was even boasting during the back to school time. Look, this is how my predominantly white school is. Look at all the school supplies. Look at all the school supplies. Like, she was bragging about this. She did not think that this was going to target her. She had no idea that this is the behavior that is happening in predominantly white schools. Like, she bragged about, I want to stay in the Lakewood Ranch area. I want to stay in the Lakewood Ranch area. And look, now mind you, that's not to say move. That's not to say take your children from nice things or whatever. But it says something about what you are teaching your children what nice is, and what you guys are idolizing or putting up in the forefront. You put white Jesus above everybody. You was literally, and when I say white Jesus, I'm being funny. I'm not talking about actual Jesus, y'all. I'm talking about white people being right all the time. White people being good, and anything black is less than, ghetto, or all those things. She is the one that literally talks about this day in and day out, more than she talks about a lot of other topics. And now look. So it's just a lesson. It truly is a lesson. And it sucks because some of our lessons don't happen to us directly. It affects our children. It really sometimes trickles down to the children. And I don't know what I don't know what she's looking to gain. Because at this point, I don't know if the school's going to kick her out. Because, like, when I tell y'all she put those bags in that school and said, don't fuck with me, I'm like, girl, calm down. Like, I understand you being upset. It would be one thing if the school had, like, had the kids go up and give them this bag of food and make them look like they was, like, we giving you this food because you are needy, and everybody clap for us doing this for the needy. I don't know how they did it, but the way that she reacted, I'm like, Let's calm down and go talk to them. See how exactly they got the names. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. And so I'm trying to figure out how she is ever going to figure out who did this and why, if it's even really a thing of someone like trying to personally attack her. I don't think so. But I do think that it, of course, is race driven. I do think that the school probably was like, yeah, we're going to give it to them because they probably are racist or, yeah, I do think that. But I don't know how Peaches is going to go and educate her children on this in the future. Because, I mean, I would sit down and talk to my children, but Peaches doesn't really like being black. So what is she going to tell her children about this? You're not the typical black children. You should have never gotten those bags. Like, what are you going to say? I'm so confused. Let me see. Okay, so majority of people said that Peaches is overreacting. 11% said she's not. The people that said she's not overreacting, why do y'all feel like she's not overreacting? Tell me in the comments. I'm not keeping this live up, y'all. I just wanted to talk about it really quickly. I'm probably going to put it on members only. Sorry if y'all hear my baby. What, that's how you feel about it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, y'all, that's really what I wanted to say. I don't know if a lot of more people had comments or viewpoints and opinions about it, but I will let y'all go enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. My next video will be about Brandon Isabel. I don't know if y'all remember me covering this story a few years ago about the guy who was dating a couple people at FedEx. And yes, Tangela, she be talking. And guess how old she is? She only 3 months. She just turned 3 months on the 23rd. And she is she's a yapper for sure. She like her mama. The saying is so true. Like, the more children you have, the faster that they grow. Not because they're like moving out the way, y'all, but because like she has 2 older sisters that talk all day. So I guess she's learning faster, because I don't remember them doing this when they were this age, but she's a talker for sure. And I'm like, it's so cute. Her and my niece. I have a niece that's 9 days older than her, and she has 4 other siblings. And yeah, she be babbling too. I didn't know if this was like post-pandemic behavior or what, because my last baby is 7 years old, so I started all the way over. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off here because my kids are coming in the room now. So I will talk to y'all later. The next video will be about Brandon Isabel. Bye, y'all.